A Christmas Carol is heartwarming. Every moment in the story is precious. Get us realize what we should do in order to live a meaningful life. Hello, and this is English for Always. And in this special Christmas episode, I'm gonna read you the story. I think it is the most famous story when Christmas. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, adapted by Leslie Sims. Now let's enjoy, everyone. Chapter 4. The Second Spirit. Crew woke up, back in bed. As the clock struck 1, he sat up nervously, but nothing happened. He flung back his curtains. No one was there. Finally, Gru got up and went into the next room. He could hardly recognize it. And right in the middle sat the second spirit. Scrooge followed the ghost through streets full of people preparing for Christmas. Finally, they came to Bob Cratchit's house when Mrs. Cratchit was getting the Christmas dinner ready. "His father!" cried the two youngest as Bob came in, carrying his invalid son. Soon, everyone was enjoying the feast. It was a small meal for such a large family, but no one could have dreamed of saying so. "Spirit," said Scrooge suddenly, "tell me if Tiny Tim will live." "I see an empty seat," said the ghost. "If things stay as they are, he will die." Scrooge felt terrible, but then he heard his name. "To Mr. Scrooge, who provided our feast," cried Bob. "Provided our feast, indeed," snorted his wife. "I wish he was here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feed the poor." By now, it was getting dark. The girl led Scrooge back inside, into the bustling streets. They flew to quieter, emptier places, but everywhere Scrooge saw people full of Christmas spirit. In the midst of the gloom, Scrooge heard a hearty laugh. It was his nephew Fred. They had arrived in the middle of Fred's Christmas dinner party. "I feel sorry for Scrooge," said Fred. "Now, how about a game of blind man buff?" One game followed another. Scrooge grew so excited he joined in, though no one could see or hear him. Scrooge wanted to stay until the last guest left, but the girl said no. "Just one more game then," Scrooge pleaded. "It's a new one called Yes and No." "Is it an animal?" "Yes." "Does it live in the country?" "No." "Does it growl?" "Yes." "Shame on him." "Yes." "I know. It's your Uncle Scrooge." "Yes." "Scrooge, it is," cried Fred. "And I wish him a Merry Christmas, whatever he is." Before Scrooge could wish Fred the same, the girl had whisked him away. They went on over the world, finding rejoicing and hope. But the ghosts were growing old. "My life is brief," the spirit explained. "It ends at midnight." Already the clock was chiming 11:15. "Forgive me for asking," said Groot, "but is something hidden in your robes?" "Look," the ghost replied, revealing two miserable children. "The boy is ignorance, and the girl is want. Beware of them both, but especially the boy." "Have they nowhere to go?" asked Groot. "Are there no prisons? No workhouses?" The spirit replied, using Groot's own words. The clock struck 12, and the spirit vanished. As the last charm died away, Groot saw a hooded phantom coming closer. Chapter 5. The Lost Spirit. The phantom floated silently up to Groot. "Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" he asked. The phantom said nothing, but poised its godly hand. "God of the future," cried Groot, "I feared you more than any other, but I shall go with you." Staying silent, the ghost glided off. As Groot followed, a city seemed to spring up around them. They left the grounds and went to a part of town Groot had never visited. As they entered a junk store, 3 people came in with things to sell. Groot was horrified. These things had been stolen from a dead man's house. "Spirit, I see," he cried. "This poor man might be me." As he spoke, the scene changed. Now they were in the bedroom. A dead man lay on bed, alone but for a cat and some rats. The phantom pointed to the man's face, but Groot couldn't look. "Is no one moved by this man's death?" he begged. The phantom spread out his dark robe for a second. When he drew it back, Groot saw a room where a man and a wife were talking. "We owe him so much money," the woman said. "It would take a miracle to soften his heart." "It's past softening," replied her husband cheerfully. "He's dead." "But they are happy," said Groot. "Let me see some sorrow for the dead spirit, please." The phantom took him to the Cratchits' house. Mrs. Cratchit and her children were by the fire. An air of sadness hung over them. As Groot watched them, he had the feeling that the phantom was about to leave. "Before you go, tell me who was the man on the bed," he begged. The phantom said nothing, but took Groot to a churchyard. "He lies here," said Groot. Silently, the girl pointed to a gravestone. "Answer me one question then," asked Groot. "Have I seen what will happen or what might happen?" Still the girl remained silent. Trembling all over, Groot grabbed up to a gravestone and read the name upon it. Ebenezer Groot. With a terrible cry, Groot grabbed the gold rope. "No, spirit! Oh no!" but the phantom simply pointed to Scrooge and back to the grave. "I'm not the man I was," Scrooge cried. "Let me change." Scrooge closed his eyes to pray. When he opened them again, the phantom had become his bedpost. Chapter 6. Merry Christmas. He was back in his own bed. "Ha!" he laughed. "I'm at light at the feather, at merry at a schoolboy. Thank you, Molly. From now on, I'll keep Christmas in my heart all year round." "I don't know what day it is. I don't know what month it is. I don't care," he babbled. Just then, the church bells rang out. Rue raced to his window. The spirits had done all their work in one night. Rue chuckled and sent the boy off to buy the butcher's fried turkey. "I'll send it to Bob Cratchit," he said to himself, and rubbed his hand with glee. "A toy's the size of Tiny Tim." When the boy returned with the turkey, Scrooge gasped. The birds were huge. "Will you deliver it for me?" he asked, chuckling some more. "You need a cab." And he paid the boy, found a cab, and went back inside. Still chuckling, he chuckled until the tears rolled down his cheeks. At last, he was dressed in his best and outside. He looked so cheerful that several people said, "Morning, sir! Merry Christmas!" Scrooge thought those the most beautiful words he had ever heard. He hadn't gone far when he met a man who had been collecting for the poor the day before. "Merry Christmas!" he cried. The two men looked shocked. Was it Scrooge? Feeling better, Scrooge went to church and then for a walk. He had never felt so happy. In the afternoon, he went to his nephew Fred's house. He went up to the door a dozen times before he dared knock. Fred welcomed him to the party with such delight. Scrooge felt at home in 5 minutes. It was a wonderful party, but Scrooge was at work early next day. He wanted to catch Bob Cratchit coming in late, and he did. Bob was nearly 20 minutes late. Scrooge pretended to be furious. "I'm not going to stand for it any longer. Step into my office." "It's only once a year," said Bob. "I'll tell you what I'm going to do," Scrooge went on, poking him in the ribs. "I'm going to raise your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. Now put some more coal on the fire before you pick up your quilt." Scrooge promised to take care of Bob and his family, and he was as good as his word. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. Not only that, he became a good friend to all who lived in his town. Some people laughed to see the change in him. Scrooge just let them laugh. He didn't care. He knew laughing was good for them, and his own heart laughed with them. He never saw the spirits again, but it was always said of him that he knew how to have a jolly Christmas. May that be true of all of us. And so, in the words of Tiny Tim, God bless us, everyone. Alright everyone, and this is the end of the story today. I hope that you guys all had Christmas time in your heart all year round. Please give my channel a like, a share and a subscribe. Thank you for your watching and see you next time.